Hello and welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is a reading for Sagittarius. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I'm merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. There's a 7 of Wands. Okay, all right. Let's do this. We have our work in front of us. We are energetic. We are ready to go. We are making moves. We are doing it. As I lay these cards out, I also want to say if there's anything you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay. So we've got some really good fire energy right here. I think this is really showing like you're knocking down walls. You're taking out obstacles right now. Okay. Let's finish up with our Path of the Serpent here. Yeah, this is even better. This is good. You've got goals and you are working towards them, and I think you're going to achieve them. Okay. Let's do a mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to use the Waite-Smith deck. And this is the card that we set aside. We'll set the frog right there on top of it. We're not going to look at that until the very end. And hopefully that will, tie the reading together and give us the confirmation that we need. So let's take a look around and see what we have. Well, we've got major arcana. We've got fire, fire. We've got a little bit of earth. We've got some water, some earth, a little bit of air. It's pretty balanced. I think it looks really, really good. And I'm not even really sure where to start. So let's just go to this 7 of Wands here. This is a real strength in you. This is a real strong energy. You are not someone who backs down from a challenge, right? You could be someone that even if you are kind of outnumbered, you're still going to fight, May not always be the smartest decision, but it's just part of your energy, right? It's part of your nature. And the same thing goes in your career, in your family life, your home life, your finances, your health, anything that you put your mind to. It's almost like you need there to be a little bit of resistance. Like when you're lifting weights, if they don't weigh anything, then what's the point, right? If there's no resistance, if there's no challenge, if there's no effort being put into it, then it's meaningless. It's not doing anything, right? So you're in this mode now where you're trying to lift heavier and heavier weights, okay? And you may actually be feeling it in some joints and stuff, like it may be manifesting as some joint pain. I don't know if you have elbow pain or wrist pain or something. It kind of feels like we're lifting weight that is too heavy, that our joints literally are being strained from it, okay? So you might be feeling some inflammation in some joints. Maybe it's knees and ankles or something, but it's somewhere like that, all right? And I think that really is a manifestation of this, the challenges that you're taking upon yourself. Again, like you want the weights to just be as heavy as possible. We're not really building up to it. We're just going straight from like never entering a gym before in our lives to now we're like, we're trying to bench press, like 1,000 pounds. I don't know what people bench press. It's not really smart. You might injure yourself, okay? Now, I'm no personal trainer. I'm no fitness expert, obviously. But I think that we can all agree there needs to be a little bit of a gradual thing. Okay, we need to work our way up to it. And I think that is kind of what's going on with this 5 of discs. I think you're kind of learning that things need to happen one step at a time. That you're really meant for great things, right? I think you're so excited for what you're doing or for what is happening in your life, right? I'm not sure what that is exactly, but it's amazing. It's tremendous. It feels so good. It's really everything that you've always wanted. You're so excited that you want to go and lift the heaviest weight. It's like you want to literally move mountains. We have to do it one step at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day, all right? So I think that this is you lifting the heavy weights, right? The Five of Discs is kind of the heavy weights. There could be a good reason why you want things to happen quickly. And I think those reasons are pretty standard. Health and wealth, right? Fitness, finances. You want to hurry up and get into the gym and exercise as much as you can, as fast as you can, because you want to get strong quickly, right? Maybe you've got something coming up. Maybe you got a big fight coming up, you know. Maybe the fight of your life is coming, okay? And maybe you have some bills that need to get paid. You've got some goals that you want to achieve, and time's a wasting, right? So you feel like you have to go and lift the heaviest thing there as many times as you can until you drop, because you want it to happen now. You need to hurry up and get there. So there's a little bit of haste, maybe. But it's a good haste, and I think that it is, it's ambition. It is, well, it's part of this Princess of Wands here at the top. This is you feeling like, I gotta hurry, you know? And it may even seem, you may seem a little frantic to other people, where you're just kind of like buzzing around everywhere, trying to get everything done all at once, rather than taking it slow and calm and deliberate. We see more slow, calm, and deliberate on the path of the serpent, though. So don't think this is all just a rush of fire energy. There's some balance to it, too. I think things are going to kind of calm down. It could be that this is something very new. Right? With the Princess of Wands here, this might be someone who you recently got the news or the opportunity, or you just now made the plans. You're still fresh in this excitement, right? You're still in the very enthusiastic, like, honeymoon period before it really sinks in that, okay, now I've really got to make some progress because I have that big race coming up, or I've got that really big deadline, or that really big project that's going to be due, or this big presentation, or the grand opening of my business, or whatever it might be, right? That big fight of your life that's coming. So, you know, we rush at the very beginning. But we have to be cautious because, again, I think you're already feeling some joint pain. Maybe elbows, wrists, maybe knees, ankles. And we don't want more of that, right? And that really comes by way of trying to lift too much weight at once without working our way up to it. We're not giving our bodies, our soul bodies, right, our metaphysical bodies, time to adapt. Right? Just throwing it into the fire and expecting, that things are going to be okay. We need it gradually. It's like, don't jump into the ice cold water if you've never done that kind of thing before. What do they call that? I can't remember. Those people that jump into the ice cold water. I've always wanted to do that. Not smart, right? Not smart unless you've already slowly acclimated to that, and your body is used to that a little bit, right? So I don't recommend anybody do that. The same kind of thing, but here we're talking about more of this active fire energy rather than the cold, frigid waters of Canada or something somewhere. Anyway. So I feel like this is something new, and so there's still this rush of excitement. There's still this frantic busyness, this enthusiasm. You really are you're just bursting with joy and excitement. And it's pushing you to try really, really hard to move the mountains, right? And I think we're learning that we need to have a little bit more judgment, right? Here's the justice or adjustment card. We need to adjust ourselves. We need to allow our bodies, physical and our metaphysical bodies, to adjust to the new demands that we're putting on it, right? To the weight that we're lifting. We got to do it slowly. Every couple days, maybe add a little bit more weight, right? And that's kind of how we have to use this justice or adjustment card. And this card's also saying, look, you know what's going to happen if you try to lift too much at once. You know how that's going to go. You know the effects of that cause. You know what is going to follow from that. So we have to have balance. We have to maintain this kind of composure, do things in an appropriate way. I wonder if we'll get the 8 of discs maybe for the mystery card. That would be maybe a little too simple though. Not much about this channel is simple, I've been noticing. In the past, what is the 6 of Wands? 6 of Wands might be talking about you joining something, right? Maybe you've signed up with a team for a company, in a department. You've signed up for some art show, some marathon. Maybe you're doing one of them Spartan races or something. I always wanted to do that too, but I'm not in the shape for that. You've joined up with other like-minded individuals, not even like-minded, like-spirited, right? To people similar to you that have the same goals and motivations that you have. Okay, and I don't know what it is. It could be anything, again, from something physical to something, an art show, a presentation. It could be a play or something that you're in. I don't know what you're doing. And that's the joy, that's the beauty that I get from these readings, is reading all of your comments and seeing kind of what kind of things you're doing with this energy. Because I use these analogies and metaphors of like someone in a gym working out, right? I don't know that this really is manifesting in that exact way for very many of you, And that's what makes these general readings so unique, I think. To toot my own horn a little bit, is that they manifest in so many different ways, and I get to see that in the comments, and I love that. So it's a new thing. You've joined with something. You've established a date in the future or something, or you've teamed up with a group, and that's kind of how this whole thing started. This is where the excitement came from, finding other people that kind of were of the same spirit as you, and that kind of kicked this whole thing off. And it's a good thing that it did, because 4 of Cups down at the bottom, underneath it all, you've been feeling like your life is kind of stagnant a little bit. Like you've been just anchored in a cove. It's been nice. Again, we're switching metaphors here. You've been on your boat. It's been comfortable. It's been relaxing. You've had nice weather, it's been calm, you're just kind of anchored here, right? Nothing exciting going on, there are no storms, thankfully. Your boat's not sinking, right? Everything's in ship shape. But you don't know where to go, you didn't know what to do with your time, with your efforts, with your fire energy, your creativity. So we were just kind of hanging out, It was fine, it was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't spectacular. It didn't give you this Princess of Wands feeling. So all of this fire energy really is coming at the perfect time, because we were starting to get a little bit tired of this 4 of Cups down here. So all of this is kind of resting on this 4 of Cups. All of this up here, this air, because of this adjustment, the fire and the earth, all of this stuff up here, this is like the big sail. That's now, you've unfurled it. You've raised the sail on this 4 of Cups. And we're really going places now. Now you feel like your life has direction, it has meaning. You've got something exciting to do. You've got something very demanding. You're setting you're setting the bar very high for yourself, That's good, that's a good thing. And here is that bar, right? But it's kind of the other way. The Ace of Swords, moving to the path of the Serpent now. You have this idea of commitment. You have this feeling like you've really found your truth, right? Like you've had this realization, this kind of enlightenment. I think through this experience, through the results of whatever this is, you feel like you've really found a connection to Source. like you're really tuned in to the spiritual vibrations of the universe, you know. This is an antenna in your soul that is just really connected, really receiving now and transmitting, you know. It's a two-way communication. And this is a really profound experience for you. This is, you know, this is a spiritual awakening and activation and enlightenment and enlightening. Okay. And it really comes by way of you discovering this thing about you. I think whatever this is that you're doing, the realization that this is it, this is the one, right? This is the ace. That's a very profound experience, right? There's going to be difficulties. Yes, I think you're feeling the joint pain. You're trying to lift too much weight at once. There's some challenges. There's some adjustments that need to be made. We need to kind of acclimate to this new effort, activity, life. But the feeling, the realization, the peace even that you get knowing that you found it, that's profound. That's profound. The next card here is the Hierophant, and this is a very important card. This card is saying, look, you have to learn from your environment. You have to keep your eyes open and let the universe be your teacher. Let nature be your guide and your teacher and your instructor. Let the universe be your mentor, right? So with this experience, with all of this excitement, we're trying to move mountains, with this certainty and this enlightenment that we get down here, checking my cameras, these cameras have been overheating a lot lately, and I think it's when we have a lot of fire cards. It seems like it really heats up, and we end up losing the overhead camera. So it might shut down pretty soon, and I know that's very unprofessional, and I apologize. Anyway, the Hierophant is saying, look, you're going to be so enlightened by this experience. You can't assume that you already know everything, right? We have to still keep our eyes open, keep our antenna activated so that it can receive. And you will always be receiving from the universe, from spirit, from your environment, from nature, right? So the card here, the Hierophant in this position, says that you must learn from your environment and adapt to your environment. You can't always expect your environment to adapt to you. And that's a key component of this adjustment card too, okay? These two cards are right next to each other. We have to learn balance and equilibrium and this, acclimating to nature and to our environment and being in sync, being in harmony, right? Being of the same vibration with the world. That has to be that two-way street too. You know, we can't expect everyone or everything to adapt to us. We need to kind of meet the universe halfway, right? So we keep our eyes open. The Hierophant is saying, look, there's a lot out here for you to learn. You have a lot of lessons. Just because we're having this experience and this Ace of Swords experience doesn't mean that we know everything. There is still an infinite amount that we can learn, new ways that we can grow and explore, and we have to be open and receptive to that Hierophant energy, okay? Now, the next card is, I think I'm losing. All right, I apologize for the technical difficulties that we've been having today. What I was saying was the next card is this Seven of Discs, right? This is failure and the fear of failure now. It's in the position of what we don't want. So does that mean we don't want failure? Well, of course, right? But what we don't want is the fear associated with failure. So this is a lesson, I think, that's telling us, look, we may actually fail at this, and that's okay. We're not trying to get rid of failure. We're not trying to keep failure away. We're trying to not be so afraid of failing. You know, I think that is a key component of this adjustment and Hierophant. One, maybe adjusting our expectations, learning from our environment and maybe from our mistakes too. So this card is really talking about, using failures stumbles, missteps, setbacks, using all of that in the correct way, right? Not just lamenting them or railing against them or getting upset over them, but really learning from them, using our failures as the rough drafts of our success, okay? So there will be setbacks. There probably will be some failures or some missteps or something like that. But we don't want to be afraid of them. Because if we're afraid of them, we're going to reject them, we're going to have an aversion to them, and we're not going to let them in. And when they do happen, though, we're going to have to let them in. We're going to have to process it and be okay with it. We can't get too angry with ourselves, right? We have to learn from those, this Hierophant energy. It's very important to learn from, I think, and I don't know where I read this, we do learn more from our mistakes than we do from our success, right? So there's a reason why this card is here. It's not talking about the kind of obvious, we don't want failure. Well, of course we don't want it. But we don't want the fear of it. That's something that maybe we should work on, is not being so rejecting of those mistakes when they unavoidably happen. Now, we're going to try our best not to let them happen. But I have a feeling they might here and there, okay? And the next card, interesting, is this Heir of Water, this Prince of Cups. This is a card that can get very upset over failure, right? This is the exact kind of thing we were just talking about with the Seven of Discs. Now with this card, this could be someone who gets very upset, very emotional when they make a mistake, when they make a misstep, when they fail at something, when something didn't quite go their way. Very hard on themselves. They're very sensitive to that. They really kind of take it, they internalize it, and it messes with them, But on the other hand, this card has that air component, right? It's the prince. It's the air aspect of the element that it's in. So that air element is then trying to use the experience, maybe even use that intense feeling of, of making a misstep or failing or whatever, using that feeling as an educational tool, right? As a learning experience. So I think this is a very important card here. And this, I know it takes away a little bit of the excitement from the rest of the reading, but I think this is a very necessary kind of final message that, look, it's not all going to be just kind of fire and light. There's going to be some setbacks somewhere, something, probably very minor, probably very few, but we have to learn from those, and we have to understand how we feel about that. We have to use that experience as a learning tool, and I think that's the message there, and I think it's a good one. But now let's go to that mystery card. I'm curious what this frog has for us today. Thank you, frog. I don't know. This could be something more about the learning from these experiences. It could be something more about trying to adjust our kind of degree of intensity, or it could be the result of all of this. So maybe something harmonious, maybe something kind of like this Justice or Adjustment card, but maybe the Art or Temperance card. Maybe a 2 of discs, maybe a 6 of anything, I think would be great. Let's find out. Oh, even better, the Star. The Star has transcended all of this energy and is now just in heaven shining. Everything is just, all of these energies, these are just the minor details of what you're doing. These are just the little kind of things that we have to pay attention to, but this is really where we're going. And I think this card is the star up there in the heavens that is giving you the frequency, the radio waves kind of coming from this star directly to your antenna. So this is the star that you've tuned into, right? Out of all of the billions, trillions of stars in the heavens, you've figured out which one is you. And we've tuned in to that vibration, to that frequency. Now we're receiving those radio waves. And that is the real importance here. That is the real message. Beyond all of these little details, all of this stuff seems minor now. Knowing that you've tapped into this starlight, this is the only thing that matters. Everything here is just kind of, yeah, you know, it's important, it's all going to factor in, but this is the real deal. This is the real star of the show, right? So this makes me very happy. And this is going to be exciting in the extended too. If you want to stick around, click up here. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. I really don't like when that happens. Sometimes it's unavoidable. It's just one minor detail in the bigger picture. And I hope you'll stick around for that extended. Thank you for going on this journey with me. And thank you for being the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. It's empty.